Hello everyone, I hope you are in the best condition today. This time we will watch a film about a father's revenge against a cruel cartel in Juarez, Mexico. How exciting the father's revenge is. Let's watch it together. This film is entitled Shrapnel Production in 2023. Set against the backdrop of the American-Mexican border, this story centers on Sean, a father who is desperately searching for his missing daughter for 3 days. Currently, Sean is in Mexico, precisely at a location where discarded cars are dumped, based on reliable information suggesting that his daughter's car was seen there. After inspecting each unit at the location, he discovered his child's car in pristine condition, but no clues were found except for her friend's glasses. Sean promptly reported this discovery to the Juarez Police Department. However, when he returned to the car dump, his daughter's vehicle had mysteriously disappeared. A police officer named Hector Montoya began to question the situation and suspected that Sean's report might be fabricated. Subsequently, he advised Sean to leave the premises as he had entered the location without permission, which could lead to legal repercussions. Sean resides on a farm in the Texas area near the American-Mexican border. Upon arriving home, the aloof attitude of his eldest daughter deeply wounded Sean as she accused him of being incapable of protecting their family. Seeing her husband's distress, Susan, Sean's wife, attempted to comfort him. However, Sean remained restless and concerned about his missing daughter's well-being. Sean then started sharing his suspicions about the involvement of the 2 police officers in this incident with his wife. Consequently, he decided to report this issue to the consulate. The next morning, before heading to the consulate, Sean was visited by a guest named Max, an old friend from his military days. It was revealed that Sean was a former colonel who was part of a cleanup team, a special forces unit assigned to carry out various extreme missions, such as executions, massacres, destruction, and the elimination of criminals. Max's purpose for visiting Sean was to offer his assistance in the search for his missing daughter. Sean was delighted to hear Max's concern for his family. However, knowing Max's character and modus operandi during their military dates, Sean decided not to involve him in this matter. He knew that Max was notorious for his brutal and inhumane methods in every action he took, so Sean declined Max's offer of help, stating that he would handle the situation alone. In short, Sean was seen at the consulate with the father of his daughter's friend. It turned out that Sean's daughter was not missing alone but was with her friend. Sean immediately recounted the chronology of events, including his suspicion of 2 Mexican policemen who were involved in the case of his missing child. As a consul representing his country in Mexico, he was well aware of the current situation there, especially concerning a cartel or syndicate led by a former mercenary named Victor Garza. Victor was now the most feared and respected cartel leader in all of Mexico. The consul expressed concerns that Sean's child might have been abducted by Victor Garza's henchmen. If his suspicions were true, the consul advised Sean to accept the situation and let go of the case if he wanted to live peacefully. Seeing the consul's agitation piqued Sean's curiosity about the extent of Victor Garza's danger. The consul then detailed several crimes attributed to Victor, such as the assassination of an honest police chief, causing 400 Mexican citizens to disappear annually, and various other crimes, all possibly committed by Victor's predominantly ex-mercenary forces. The case instantly became viral news, with a former colonel's daughter missing at the border, leading Sean and his wife to be interviewed by the media. While his wife could only weep, Sean expressed firm determination, assuring his child to be patient and wait, as he would find her soon, one way or another. Meanwhile, Victor Garza happened to be watching the news and realized that one of the girls handed to him was the daughter of a former United States colonel. This could potentially disrupt his business relationships with some colleagues in America if Sean escalated the case further. Consequently, Victor immediately apprehended the 2 policemen responsible for Sean's daughter's abduction to hold them accountable. It was revealed that the 2 officers were the ones who had met Sean yesterday, Hector Montoya and his accomplice. Victor berated both of them for delivering the wrong girl, a mistake that could cause problems. Without much ado, his associate promptly shot. Victor spared Hector Montoya's life on the condition that he would help his forces bring Sean's head to him. Furthermore, Victor instructed his brother, Carlos, to deploy some of their mercenary troops to Texas to exterminate Sean's entire family. After Hector Montoya was taken away, Victor had a conversation with his beloved brother, Carlos, ordering him to slaughter Sean and his family in a brutal manner, demonstrating that their group was not a small cartel. He wanted their bodies to be covered by the media, spreading terror, fear, and horror. He aimed to make the government, police, civilians, and even other criminals more respectful and fearful at the mere mention of the name Victor Garza. Just as Carlos and his men were en route to Texas, Sean was seen on his farm holding a long-barreled rifle, aiming to ward off pests such as rodents and raven, unaware of Victor's forces moving so swiftly. Sean was taken aback upon seeing a convoy of vehicles approaching his direction. Quickly, he rushed into the house and instructed his wife and child to hide upstairs. Carlos and his men began shooting indiscriminately. The sound of gunfire echoing and reaching a far-off neighbor who promptly reported it to a local sheriff, interrupting his lunch. Hearing that a resident was in danger, the sheriff immediately abandoned his meal and rushed to the scene. Despite Sean's expertise and experience in the battlefield, he was outnumbered by Carlos and his men, who managed to break through the front door and enter the house. Realizing that his home had been breached, Sean shattered plates and glasses on the floor so that he could hear their movements as they entered. Carlos seemed to have miscalculated his strategy when he ordered his men to spread out, which ultimately made it easier for Sean to eliminate them one by one in different rooms. If Carlos had chosen to enter together with his men or had opted to detonate the house from outside, it might have been a more effective approach. However, it appeared that Carlos preferred a more challenging method rather than an efficient one, at least from my perspective. Having moved upstairs, Sean instructed his wife and child to escape through the window while he remained in the room. Meanwhile, Carlos forced Hector Montoya to go upstairs alone, enabling Sean to capture him easily. As Sean successfully led his family out of the house, the sheriff arrived to investigate the situation. To his shock, he found a headless body in one of the vehicles, triggering a firefight between him and Carlos' forces emerging from Sean's house. Seizing the opportunity, Sean evacuated his family from the scene. In a daring move, Sean stepped on the gas pedal upon seeing the sheriff get killed, prompting Carlos to chase after him. Sean couldn't relax yet, seeing Carlos and his men still relentlessly pursuing him. To put an end to the endless pursuit, Sean bravely got out of the car and shot at Carlos' men, causing them to panic. From the dozen mercenaries brought by Carlos, only he remained. Regretting not bringing more troops, Carlos, though helpless, remained arrogant and refused to disclose the whereabouts of Sean's daughter. However, his arrogance vanished after Sean shot both of his legs and arms. Upon obtaining the information, Sean swiftly eliminated Victor Garza's brother. With just a step away from getting his daughter back, Sean was reluctant to involve his family any further and escorted them to a safer location. Subsequently, he contacted his friend Max to accept the assistance he offered the other day. Max, who had long missed the adrenaline rush, was enthusiastic and eager to help, as evidenced by the equipment he brought in the trunk of his car. Meanwhile, Victor Garza appeared uneasy as he was unable to reach his beloved brother, now realizing that he might be in for a mental blow with Sean and Max's imminent merciless retaliation. Sean and Max arrived at Victor's residence and swiftly eliminated every guard without wasting any time. Victor Garza, the leader of the largest cartel in Mexico, was left dumbfounded as Max and Sean managed to annihilate all his henchmen. Initially appearing confident and powerful, Victor now seemed feeble as Sean brutally battered his face. In no time, they reached the location where Sean's daughter was held captive, and due to the feeble guards present, Sean and Max could easily enter without encountering any difficulties. After successfully finding his daughter and her friend, Sean, whose mission had been accomplished, entrusted the rest to Max. As mentioned earlier, Max was a brutal figure who favored using extreme torture methods. It appeared that Victor needed to repent quickly before Max finished him off in an excruciating manner. The next morning, Max was seen carrying Victor's head to be placed as a warning on a display by the roadside. As for Sean, he finally breathed a sigh of relief as his family was reunited. Overjoyed, he even shaved his mustache and beard to feel fresher. Thus, the film ended with a happy ending for Sean and his family.